And we're singing. We're singing. Time to talk. Beauty and the Bitch.
Are we cloud 1?
No.
Are we cloud 2?
No.
Are we cloud 3?
No.
Are we cloud 4?
Oh, okay, we're not.
Are we cloud 5?
No, we're not.
Are we cloud
Okay.
6?
Okay, I feel like we're almost there.
Are we cloud 7?
No.
Are we cloud 8?
No.
Are we cloud 9?
Yay.
Ooh. I think I gave myself an aneurysm doing that Glenn Sturgis.
Girl, he is a
Ooh.
world-class live Muppet.
He is. I've known a few Muppets in my life.
Don't you call me a puppet or a Muppet, and don't you come for me.
I'm gonna start screaming at people on the street when they piss me off. I'll be like, "Don't you call me a Muppet? Don't you call me a puppet? And don't you come for me." That's good. I like that. I do like that.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, you know where I'm coming from when I tell you that. Welcome back to another episode of Beauty and the Bitch. I'm Mick.
I'm Morgan, and we absolutely had a bottle of rosé.
Full bottle.
The
Full
entire
bottle.
thing. But we had it with dinner, which was an avocado cut in half with fancy things inside.
Yeah, and Cheetos.
And Cheetos.
Don't forget
For
the
carbs.
Cheetos.
You can't be carb-free. We're not on the keto diet.
No, part of my food pyramid is that cheese powder.
It's like the middle, like not too big, not too small. It's the middle part of the pyramid.
Everything in moderation. No more than 6 bags a week of Cheetos.
But basically, if you want to fulfill that food group, it's Cheetos and Velveeta cheese.
Delicious.
Those are like the only options.
Ooh, very important. Marry, fuck, kill. Crunchy Cheetos, poofy Cheetos, cheese balls.
I'm going to kill cheese balls. Fuck them. I don't want them in here.
Really?
I'm not into it.
I like a cheese ball.
I am going to fuck crunchy Cheetos and marry puffy Cheetos.
Oh, you want to spend your whole life with a puffy Cheeto?
Yes.
I would
do.
fuck puffy Cheetos because more girth, and I would marry crunchy Cheetos because they're the original.
Basic.
They're doing this. What'd you call me? Don't you call me a Muppet? Don't you? they're doing.
Can that be our new slogan? Beauty and the Bitch.
Don't you call me a Muppet?
Don't you call me a puppet?
Don't come for me.
Don't come for me. Don't do it.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Okay.
They're doing a new Cheetos competition where if you find a Cheeto shaped like, say, a palm tree, you can like take a picture and enter to win a competition to get like a free vacation.
What if my Cheetos shaped like a crooked dick? Are they accepting photos of that?
You've already won that prize. So today we're talking about not Cheetos.
Surprisingly, though, honestly.
We're talking about one of our favorite comedies. I would say of all time. It's probably in my top 10, to be honest with you.
Favorite comedies of all time?
Uh-huh.
I think it's definitely in my top 10.
Yeah.
I
Superstore.
love it. Superstore is such a smart show. We were just saying over a bottle of rosé, which is a totally healthy thing to have on a Wednesday
And normal,
night.
frankly.
18 taps.
Yeah.
We were saying that it's one of the smartest comedies on TV since Parks and Rec and 30 Rock are off the air. In our opinions, nothing comparable to Superstore.
Well, for that kind of, I mean, there are comedies like, what's that one, Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
It's different, though.
It's about mean people. To me, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like Always Sunny is more like shock comedy in a way.
Absolutely.
Whereas something like 30 Rock or Superstore is more like, what I think of as true stand-up comedy, to continue like the simile, because it's like, it's happy, it's kind. Those people all actually love each other and treat each other quite well, with some exceptions.
I would argue a little bit 30 Rock is less kind, but I think Parks and Rec is the like the sunshiny of that bunch. I think Superstore's a little bit of mix of those kind of like mean to happy ratio, because like there is some like shade, which is like half of why it's so great.
I mean, Mateo is just all shade all the time.
What would it be without him?
He's the sassiest.
Amazing.
Yeah. I love
in every
Mateo.
way. Yeah.
Who is your favorite character, Morgie?
I think that's like there could not be a harder question when trying to talk about Superstore. I think it's so character driven and the character acting is so strong. Everyone is so good, and arguably, as happens a lot, the two main characters are the weakest characters, in my opinion. The America Ferrera and Ben Feldman. Amy and Jonah. Like, they're great, but they're not as great as, like, getting Cheyenne and Mateo together.
Oh, my God.
Like, if I had to watch one of those pairs, it's going to be Cheyenne and Mateo all day.
Well, now, I agree with you on the surface, but I will say Ben Feldman is so beautiful to me. I love looking at him. He's gorgeous. Yeah. Gorgeous.
Crazy.
But, like, did you see the episode where we see him with his shirt off after his home gets blown away?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. But no tea, no shade. Look, if I was on a TV show, I took my shirt off, you'd be like, whatever. He's a shirtless person. But his face, though, is so stunning. I want him to have, like, a perfect body to go with his perfect face. It's fine he doesn't have a perfect body, but I just assumed because his face is so beautiful.
Very pretty.
Stunning.
Okay, but to answer your question as thoroughly as I might possibly could, I 100% don't have a favorite character. It depends on every episode. But in general, if Bo is in the episode...
Wow, wow, wow.
You know what I'm saying? If Bo is in the episode becomes better.
He's so funny. And he's coming back. You know, season 4 is coming out on October 4th on NBC. And I heard tell that Bo will be in this season. Hallelujah.
He is so great.
I think he's so funny.
Love him. Bo and Cheyenne are a hot trash piece of mess. Like, I love them.
It's a sad relationship when Cheyenne, this young, ridiculous, lazy young mother, is like the most reasonable person in the relationship. Bo is a joke. Cheyenne's ridiculous, but Bo is beyond. That's her fiance, baby daddy. No, husband.
They got married.
Husband, yeah.
I love him.
Oh my God, I love him too. So funny. Him. And actually, like that actor, he doesn't play an at all attractive character, but there's something about him that I'm like, in real life, I bet you're kind of fuckable. Because he seems smart to me. He plays such a dumb character, but I think, I could be wrong, I don't know the boy, but I think he's actually pretty smart.
I don't know either, but he does nothing but make me smile every minute
so
that
funny.
he spends on screen, honestly.
Well, I have to tell you, it's an easy answer for me.
I know, girl. I know you got feelings.
I love them all. I genuinely love every single character in this show, including Dina, who I didn't like for a minute.
I love Dina.
I love her too now.
I love her.
But I'm a Sandra fan from back to front, day and night. She's
Shut up, Sandra.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't try to murder you. I just didn't save you. It's my favorite Sandra line. That's when, do you remember when that happens?
Was that Carol?
Yeah, she's talking to Carol. So, okay, actually, for people who may not have seen this show, first of all, it's on HULU. You need to catch up. You need to catch up right now. It's amazing. But how would you describe this show, Morgie, to someone who doesn't know it?
Superstore is a 30-minute comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Satire on life working in a big box store.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like a good like elevator pitch, but it's so much more than that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So it's essentially like, I mean, it looks to me, the store looks like Walmart. They even wear blue vests, but I mean, you could say Walmart, Sam's Club, Target, any of those kinds of stores. And do you think, how many characters do you think you can name? Let's do it. There's Glenn Sturgis, the manager of the store, has a Muppet voice.
Dina, the assistant manager,
who is a control freak and like a survivalist, and
like everybody sort of hates her, but like she's hilarious and also in charge.
Yeah,
like nothing would get done without her.
She does have a good heart hidden beneath layers of muscle, I guess. Sounds just tough as fuck. Yeah. Amy, who's the third in command, I guess.
Yeah, she's like the floor lead or whatever.
Played by I'm sorry.
Played by America Ferrera, yes.
Yeah, she's kind of one of the two protagonists, you might say. Okay.
Her counterpart, Jonah, played by Ben Feldman, who we have established is inhumanly gorgeous.
Elvenly beautiful.
Exactly.
Season 1 starts off with his first day at the store. So if you had to pick one, I guess he's the protagonist. But as time goes on, he really shares the stage with America Ferrera.
Yeah.
Much more so.
Yeah,
I think,
totally.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like a business school dropout with like an Ivy League education. And they definitely play that up. The like high culture, low culture thing.
Yes.
It's very funny.
Yeah, he thinks he's very cultured. I mean, he sort of is, but like he always talks about it, and that's like his thing.
He's like pretentious.
Yes.
And it's funny.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cheyenne,
who is, when we meet her, a pregnant teen unmarried mom who's just trying to get through high school and like work her evening shifts at the Superstore. Her friend counterpart Mateo, who we've also mentioned, they're pretty shade together.
They're so funny.
He's super gay.
Undocumented immigrant from the Philippines.
But he didn't understand that he was undocumented.
He didn't know he was undocumented.
Which is such a great arc.
Well, and which is really smart. You know, we'll get back to the characters, but it's so smart. That's a great example of how smart this show is, because undocumented immigration, obviously a huge issue in our country right now that people have strong opinions about one way or the other. We're both, I think I can speak for you more, on the side of, you let those people live and stop hounding those damn people. Whether or not they have papers, but, you know, people disagree, and that's what it is. But they both play it for empathy and play it for laughs, his situation of being undocumented, and it comes up multiple times throughout the series. So that's cool. It's like a ongoing thing with this character that he's undocumented. Who did we forget? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Mateo's boyfriend type.
Oh, yes. What's his name? He's the district manager, and he is kind of pathetic. Jeff, the district manager. Mildly pathetic at best, I'd say. Tate, the hot pharmacist.
Oh, you think he's hot?
Oh, I think he's gorgeous.
Such trash.
He's trash.
I love him.
He's a complete trash.
He's hilarious.
But I mean, really, if you weren't married,
he's trying to have sex with everyone all the time.
And
he's like,
I would.
I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
He's like, basically.
There's that episode where they start rating everyone numerically, and he's an obvious 10 because has abs, is stunningly beautiful, and makes a lot of money because he's the pharmacist of the store. He's super funny. But he's like a deadbeat, though. He's like trash.
Yeah, he's trash.
But I like him, though. I'd fuck him.
And I kind of think like, but I mean that guy was not part of the main cast, the pharmacist. But we named like the core characters. Oh no, we didn't. Garrett is the other
Garrett, of course. How would we forget Garrett? In a wheelchair, black man, young black man, hilarious. Yeah. Probably,
he's one of my favorite characters.
He's like, I would say he's the wittiest character on set.
He's got really good timing.
Yeah, and he makes among other things, makes the announcements for the store. So anytime you hear an announcement at Walmart, that's his voice.
Yeah,
right.
He's great. So that's the core cast minus the pharmacist. He's a secondary cast.
Yeah, he's secondary. And but over time, Sandra becomes more core cast.
Yes, she makes her way.
Sandra is a Hawaiian woman. I guess she isn't really core cast. It's even hard to describe her personality. She has a photographic memory, and she's kind of like the Jerry of the store. She is. She's the Jerry.
Everybody's like mean to her.
Yeah. At one point, she gets walled in when they're unpacking a truck, and they just don't bother to get her out, and she stays there like a very long time. And another time, she gets stuck on a shelf. Do you remember?
Yes.
And no one gives a shit about Sandra. Poor Sandra.
Yeah.
I love Sandra.
And she's got some like deep, dark, like side story situations going on.
Oh, yeah.
She's complicated.
Well, Carol, this old deadbeat bitch.
Carol is Sandra's nemesis.
And she should be everyone's nemesis. Carol fucking sucks.
Yeah.
She smokes flavored, what are those vapes? She smokes a flavored vape because she likes the smell of it in her hair. That's really indicative of her character.
Yeah.
And she's man hungry, but withered.
Withered. Good call.
Yeah.
Then we've got Myrtle, who is the most senior employee at Cloud9. She's very old and very useless.
And racist.
Yes.
And sexist.
But
she's
very funny.
She's sweet, though. Yeah. The episode with Myrtle's sexual harassment. Do you remember that episode?
No.
There's like an episode where there's another character who I don't think we've seen before since, except for this episode. He's one of the greeters, the little old man.
Oh, yeah. And then they try to get them together. Amy and Jonah are like, we're doing a good thing.
They try to match.
And she's like, he's stalking me.
Yeah, it's so... I mean, it's... Well, again... wouldn't necessarily be funny in real life, but is hilarious in the show. Oh, and of course there's Jerusha, Glenn's wife. How could we forget?
She does needlepoint.
She does crochet.
She's gonna be pregnant, hopefully.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Her main goal.
I mean, she can make you a squirrel scarf. She can make you a squirrel mitten, but she will not make you a squirrel hat, and do not ask.
Don't ask.
She doesn't like those.
She won't do it.
You know? Okay, I think that's everybody. That's full cast and crew.
There's a couple, like, other side people, but honestly, there's so many great, like, other side people that kind of fill in the gaps that have their own, like, background stories running concurrently with, like, whatever. And it's interesting because while this show is very, like, episodic, you can just watch one-offs, there is some, like, core storylining happening throughout.
Yeah, so like Glenn and Jerusha trying to have a baby, that's a core storyline of like a whole season.
Will they, won't they with Jonah and Amy?
Amy's marriage or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Her husband's a famous guy too, really hot actually. I forget his name. Oh, and you know who we didn't mention? Oh no. Well, they're forgettable because they just fell right out my head. Damn it, really? Who are we talking about? Oh, you know what I was thinking? Oh, yeah, you be yourself, Queen. You know what I was thinking? This isn't a character, but just this is why I lost. So I took a quiz online, 3 quizzes actually, to figure out who I was from Superstore.
Oh!
Yeah, they're just bullshit. You don't know anything. But I will say, I might be saying that because I'm not happy with my results.
And you got?
I got Amy first. I got Dina second. And then I got Amy/Dina third. So I'm Amy Dina.
Damn.
Yeah. I didn't get Mateo not once.
Girl.
Which, I mean, just because we're 2 gay men doesn't mean we... But I was like, I think I'm pretty Mateo,
I think we're kind of Cheyenne and Mateo, though.
Yes,
like,
we're very Cheyenne and Mateo.
If we're anyone in that show, I think we're Cheyenne
Oh,
and Mateo.
I don't know. I think you have a lot of Amy in you.
Why
I think
would
you're
you
an
say
Amy.
that?
Because you,
just
you're a
because I'm
planner.
organized?
You're organized. You're a natural leader.
But I also like to talk shit. Also, Amy's like the fun police.
That's
like
true.
Fun.
She is the fun
police. I like
police.
to have fun.
Yeah, that's something Amy would say. In fact, Amy says that a lot.
She says, I'm not the fun police. I like to have fun.
She tries to prove it multiple times.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I'm an Amy. It's like when I thought I was a Phoebe and Sarah was like, girl, you're a fucking Monica.
You're definitely a Monica. Are you crazy? I'm
Life
definitely
is hard.
a Phoebe.
Life is hard.
I'm a Phoebe Chandler, but no big deal.
Okay.
I am. It's no big deal. Don't be
Joey.
mad. You know what? I would be Joey if I could be, but that's not possible. I don't have that inherent physical charm that Joey has.
Okay.
You know. Okay, so what do you like Superstore though? What is it about it? What's the sweet spot that Superstore hits?
It's first of all, it's so ridiculous. It's like the level of ridiculous where like it couldn't possibly be real, but then it brings you back in with a oh my god, that's too fucking real. Like those people fucking exist.
Yeah. You know what? I think that's kind of what touches me about it too. It's like that mixture of absurdity. Characters like Glenn Sturgis, who's just ridiculous.
A human Muppet.
Yeah, he's a human Muppet. Mixed with issues like, why don't we have health care? Right? Why do we not get maternity leave? What happens if a tornado blows our place apart?
Oh,
right? What happens if I'm undocumented? How do I live like in this job and in this world, right? Or even larger questions of like, okay, I'm 30 and I work at a big box store. What the fuck am I doing with my life? That's a big theme of season 1, actually.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Especially because Jonah, like, steps in and he's like, I'm just doing this because I have to. And everyone else is like, yeah, you don't have to be here, but, like, we don't have any other choices.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then anyway. It turns out you have to be where you are. I'll just say that. You know who we didn't mention?
Who?
And this actually was the character who fell out of my head and then came back. That hot, stupid, gross guy who cuts off his thumb at one point.
Oh, yeah.
I love him.
What is his name? He works in, like, the
warehouse.
Yeah.
Yes, he is so sexy, though, I think. And maybe I'm just a fool for that. But I fucking love that guy.
He's good. I can't remember his name.
Is he not popping up? Oh.
There's just so many people on this list.
There's literally thousands. Let's see. John Barinholtz.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, and we forgot about Kelly.
Oh, Jonah's girlfriend.
Yeah.
She didn't come until to season 3, I think.
Yeah, she's new.
She was new.
She's much newer,
but she was a main
she's
character.
a new main.
And I really liked her too.
At first, I was like, they played me, because at first when she came on, I was like, basic as shit. But that's the point. She is basic. She's basic, sweet, boring, but she has a little spice in her. Mm-hmm. Like, do you remember, I don't want to ruin anything. You know who else we had mentioned? She's very minor, but Justine.
Yeah.
I fucking love Justine.
Yeah. She's like always talking about how she's like a lush. She's like, oh, right, ladies, we're drunk. And everyone's like, shut up, Justine.
I think one of my favorite, one of my favorite Dina quotes is, I think it's Dina. Justine, they're at a staff meeting, and Justine's like, I'm going to go slut it up this weekend. And Dina's like, you're not a slut, Justine. Stop trying to be cool. And continues on, you know? There's also that scene where Justine's trying to parallel park to go to a party. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And she just
Which was very real.
So real.
Yeah.
And she just can't do that shit. So she ends up eating all the cupcakes she brought for the party. And then drinking all the alcohol and passing out in her car, half parked in the middle of the street. It's so fucking funny. Oh,
yeah, she's good.
Oh, I do like her. Yeah, but that's the thing. All these characters are good. There's literally no character I don't like.
Yeah, everyone's great.
Yeah. Did you know that Ben Feldman, sadly not gay, boo, having his first child in October?
Oh, I did not know.
Yeah, he's gonna be a dad.
Who'd he knock up?
I don't know. Somebody that's not me. That's what I'll tell you.
That's unfortunate, and also the only medical possible way to conceive that.
Well, we could conceive a butt baby. It just wouldn't last very long.
Yeah, it's a little different.
It just wouldn't last.
A little different.
You know, I like Ben Feldman. I liked him in Drop Dead Diva. Did you ever watch that show?
I did not.
He plays an angel. Which is very appropriate for him.
I like him he's in Silicon Valley. He plays the lawyer, and he's just like kind of a burnout lawyer who's like, everything's cool, we're chill or whatever. And then he's like, yeah, but no, you're seriously in a lot of legal trouble right now.
I've never seen Silicon Valley. I keep thinking I should try it, but
the first couple seasons were like really good, and then it kind of had a season where it was like, ugh. And then this most recent season was also kind of like, but it got a little better. I don't know. It's not on the upswing. It was better in the beginning.
Okay, so for the record, Ben Feldman's wife's name is Michelle Mulitz.
Okay, cool.
They were married in 2013. May their marriage fail! No, that's not nice. But I think I could marry that man.
Yeah, he's pretty.
He also seems like smart and sweet and funny.
He does.
Yeah.
He's a nice, well-rounded man.
Yep, I'd bend him over. What? Nothing. Never mind. Did you know, this is mind-blowing. Lauren Ash, who plays Dina, the assistant manager, is the florist in Disaster Artist. The movie that tells the making of the room. She has that immortal line, "You're my favorite customer."
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I did know that, actually. I watched that on an airplane.
Oh, you know everything.
Well, I watched it on an airplane. I remember being like,
wow.
Oh, it's Dina.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. I think that's funny. She hasn't done... I mean, she's done other stuff, but, like, I didn't see anything else in her IMDb. I was like, what?
But she was, like... Wasn't she... She's Canadian, and I think she was in, like, a Canadian, like... comedy troupe similar to
The Groundlings?
Yeah,
is that it?
Something like that. Similar to what we know from like the Upright Citizens Brigade, but like the Canadian version.
Let me check on that.
She's real funny.
She's hilarious, and actually, she's supposed to play a not very attractive character.
She's gorgeous.
She's stunning. Like the Halloween episode where she wears the slutty cop costume. I was like,
she wears that every Halloween, actually.
Oh, Lauren Ash is a recent alumna of Second City Chicago and Second City Toronto main stage.
Cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she's got that comedy thing going. I think she's great. I think everybody in this show could go on to have like really fruitful careers.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. Well, some of them already do. Yeah, exactly. I mean, okay, obviously America Ferrera. Everyone knows America Ferrera.
So America Ferrera was pregnant during the last season, in real life, and she just had her first kid. I was just reading about her the other day with her husband, who she has been married to for like 12 years.
Jesus.
Yeah, she's been like a major long-term relationship, but her first kid.
Good for her. Yeah. Good for her. Did you watch Ugly Betty?
I didn't, but Sarah did, so like it would be on when we were like hanging out sometimes.
Chilling out.
Yeah.
It's a really funny show. I mean, I think you would like it. I didn't watch it all. I just watched it here and there, but it made me giggle. I thought she was great in it.
Yeah. I know and love her from the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants as the fat friend who really wasn't fat, in my opinion.
Which is a movie cliche, right? The ugly girl that's not ugly, the fat friend that's not fat, the nerdy boy that has abs and perfect biceps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Irritating.
Standard.
Little known fact, America Ferrera is also one of the producers of this show.
You know, now that you've said it, it sort of makes sense, because I think as far as like comedically speaking, she's like the least apt of all of the cast members.
Well,
not that she's bad. Like, I like her and I think she's good, but like she's definitely not as funny as everyone else.
Well, I think she plays the straight man a lot. I mean, I think here's the thing. I think someone has to be the straight man. All these ridiculous characters, you know. But I agree with you. She doesn't make me laugh the most. There are some moments, though, mostly awkward humor. Like that episode where they're trying to sell the salsa in the store.
Yeah.
And the other Hispanic employee puts on this fake accent and does this whole thing.
Salsa.
Ooh, well, I'm not going to do it because that would be racist. And then America Ferrera does it in front of her to be like, you are just faking this, and like it's so offensive. And then she starts screaming all these like Hispanic stereotypes.
Yeah, she puts on her Latina.
Yeah, exactly. And then all the customers around are like all offended. That made me laugh really hard. But that's the kind of stuff America Ferrera makes me laugh in, you know?
She's definitely good. And
she's amazing.
Yeah. And
she's the backbone of the
her
show.
Character very well, yeah. Everything revolving around her is just madness and insanity, and so engaging. And like, because there's so much going on, like there really is, like everybody's so good, there's so much going on that you can rewatch episodes and it not be like, oh, I've already seen that one. It's still like engaging to rewatch and fun.
All those crazy background actors doing all their crazy background shit is hilarious.
Cheyenne's face, like 100% of the time, you could just focus on her. She's always like making the greatest faces.
I have to say too, I'm looking up her name, Nicole Bloom. She is stunningly beautiful.
She is.
I mean, her skin is like, I would steal her skin and make a suit out of it. I haven't said that in a long time.
It's been a minute since you have said that.
She modeled for American Apparel.
Yeah, I looked at her
goodbye.
thing before. She's like really skinny, but she's really good at giving herself a double chin, which I really appreciate, like a lot, and is really endearing on her.
She was in Robot Chicken.
Well,
Shameless? Who the fuck was she in Shameless? She was Amanda. Do you remember Amanda?
No, girl, I still haven't seen that show yet.
She was on 2 seasons. She was on 17 episodes of Shameless. Where the fuck? I do not remember her at all. She's a chameleon. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that shit. Okay, and then last but not least, let's talk about Nico Santos, who plays Mateo.
Yeah, okay.
So, first of all, you saw Crazy Rich Asians.
No.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet. You're just excited.
I'm just obsessed with it, even though I have not seen it yet.
Well, he's in Crazy Rich Asians. He plays Oliver, whoever that may be.
That's very great news. I'm very excited to hear that.
Yes, him and who were we talking about earlier? Kim Jong?
Kim Jong?
Yes, they're both in there. So fabulous. But I actually, when I started watching Superstore, I saw Mateo, Nico Santos, and I was like, I know that motherfucker from somewhere. Like, I've seen him in shit. And it wasn't until I IMDb'd for podcast research that I realized he is in season 1 of Go-Go Boy Interrupted, which is this LGBTQ YouTube series based on a Groundling sketch. Okay, follow me here.
Okay.
And it is about the life of a quote-unquote washed-up go-go dancer who's just turned 30, and like him trying to transition out of go-go dancing and into like, you know, something sustainable for a 30-year-old man. And Nico plays like his, I don't know if it's his best friend, but like one of his good friends. Anyway, so it's just a minor role. It's not like the star or anything, but he's good in that series. Very good.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Let us also not forget that he did have a role as Heath in Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Oh my God. You know who else was in Paul Blart Mall Cop 2?
Kevin James?
Yes, sadly. But also Lauren Ash, Dina.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Keeping the band together.
Doing what we can. Paul Blart. Actually, that's your new nickname, Morgie.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Paul Blart.
Do you think the show is demeaning in any way to people who work in that sort of retail, like in big box stores?
No, and actually, you know what? I work in a retail environment at Lush, as probably everyone who listens knows. And I've talked with my coworkers it's a beloved show at our work. And let me tell you, if it was cruel to people who work in a retail environment, we wouldn't love it. But I think it is very much a slice of life of retail. These fucking crazy customers, your ridiculous coworkers and their ridiculous drama. Of course, when it's time for you to be dramatic, it makes sense. Of course, right? But that's all real. No, I think I think it's real. I don't think I can think of anything demeaning about it because they're all ridiculous, but so are real people, and they all have moments of humanity eventually, except maybe Carol, who can just die.
You're 100% Sandra.
Oh, I'm so Sandra. I'm in Sandra's camp 100% all the time. I love her.
She's great.
Yeah. I didn't try to kill you. I just didn't try to save you. No big deal.
Well, I never thought that it was demeaning, but I always think that's interesting when things are like, when professions are portrayed, like people can read into things or like not appreciate them as like the satires that they are or whatever. Like The Office, like I've worked in like many different like office environments or whatever, and like that was not 100% real life, but like I enjoyed all of the little ridiculousnesses of like the mundane things that are like issues that should be like non-issues. Like everything that Dwight ever did, it's like everyone has that fucking coworker.
Yep. And you're like, just calm the fuck down, girl. We're just people.
Yeah.
Just calm it. Yeah, I feel like no, I feel like anytime it starts to veer into the realm of like punching down at retail employees, it then really brings up, like I was saying earlier, a powerful, timely issue like maternity leave or something like that. So I think you can tell at the end of the day that you really are, if you're watching that show, you're sympathetic to the employees. Like, for example, we're talking about Jeff, the regional manager. Like, he's got a pretty intense story arc, and like, you might feel bad at for him at certain points, but at the end of the day, he's not likable really. And I think that's on purpose. Like, he's supposed to be pretty unlikable, I think, because he's the face of this giant company. Oh, and you remember that episode where the even higher up guy comes? And he's trash. Yeah. And he knows Jonah from business school or whatever. Yeah. That guy's trash. And he's not likable. And he's kind of funny, but he's not even really funny. Like, you just hate him. He's just gross. And so to me, this show really is tuned in with like the working class, and that's why I don't think it's ever offensive. Though I suppose people might disagree. I mean, did you see any drama online?
No,
okay, no, I'd be mad if someone was like, I don't know. I think it's such a diverse and intelligent cast. I would be very upset if someone got offended by it. But fucking people get offended by everything.
All of the things.
I'm offended by them being offended. How about that? What do I get to talk to?
No.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Ugh, people. Oh, you know what? I have a quick little game for you, Morgan.
I love games.
Okay, good. I love when you fail at games.
Okay, well, not frequently. So.
Rude. So this is called Two Sandras and a Carol. Okay? The two Sandras are truths. They're beautiful, perfect truths just as they are. And the Carol is a nasty, withered, fucking hungry, greedy, thirsty lie.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, so you tell me if it's a Sandra or a Carol. Number one, Mateo, the character, was originally written as a very straight and very angry Hispanic man.
Okay.
Sandra or Carol? Oh no, you'll do it all together. I'm sorry. I forgot how the damn game works. Okay. Number two. The Cloud9 store has appeared in other NBC shows, including, for example, The Mindy Project. Sandra or Carol? Number three. Because the set is so hectic, Improvisation is strongly discouraged on set. Sandra or Carol?
Oh, man.
That's hard.
That is hard.
2 perfect, gorgeous photographic memory truths.
Well, I think with all those comedians, it'd be weird to discourage, like, improv. So I'm going to say that last one is a Carol.
You think that's the Carol, and the other 2 are perfect Sandras?
I guess.
So you think that the last one is a nasty, corroded, broke down piece of trash Carol?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay, you're true.
Oh!
You're right. You got it right. Yeah, they do fun runs. I didn't really say how often, but it seems very common where they just improv, and sometimes that stuff does get used in the show. So,
Makes sense.
But yeah, Cloud9 Store like runs through NBC shows just like in the background.
Interesting.
Yeah, who knew?
Not me.
And yes, Mateo
was shocking.
Yeah, originally written as a very straight and very aggressive Hispanic man, but then when Nico Santos came in, they were like, "Girl, we're rewriting this role." Yeah, he's hilarious. And thank God they did, because frankly, I mean, just from a selfish... Well, he's a really important part of the cast. He's also, unless I'm wrong here, the only queer character in the cast. So that would have been a little upsetting to me if there hadn't been one queer character of any sort.
Yeah.
When you've got all this other diversity, you know? I guess it's maybe a little unfair, but I don't know.
No, not
I would have been mad, though.
And... diversity and inclusion is one of the things that they do so well that sets them apart from other shows.
Oh yeah.
And not to harp back on 30 Rock and what's the other one, Parks and Rec, but like they also had some good diversity in their cast as well. Not as much inclusion, but we're moving along through the decade and we're getting better.
Yeah, I mean it's a learning process, you know. And that's something, you know, it's hard because not every show can have every person, right? I'm aware of that. And I think shows about bland-ass white straight people need to be told too, right? That's why House of Cards exists, I guess. I don't know. It did, anyway.
R.I.P.
Yeah. But I just love, for ensemble comedies, I do think the more diverse you can make the cast, the funnier it's going to be, because that's just more material, you know? I don't know. I love it. I wish everyone would watch this show. You told me that there are like cancellation scares that happen and stuff.
Well, it's one of those shows that's it's not like a for sure always going to get renewed thing. Like it's not like a home run. Like it's not a fucking Grey's Anatomy. Like Grey's Anatomy, I don't know if you know, is like finally coming to an end after God 15 seasons. I've never seen it, but it's one of those things like they're ending because they're tired of doing it. It's not because they're getting canceled. Yeah. So like that's a home run. Like everybody, whatever, it's always renewed. But things like Superstore always kind of live in that limbo place. The Good Place is like that too. It's kind of like, ooh, is it gonna come back? Does it only have one more season? It's just like one of those things that's not. Comedy is harder, I think, in that kind of way.
I dig that. Especially comedy that is like, I mean, this is risky comedy, some of it. I mean, we're talking about undocumented workers, health insurance, teen pregnancy.
I can tell you if it did get canceled, it would for sure get picked back up on like Netflix or Hulu.
I think Hulu would pick it up.
Which Brooklyn Nine-Nine just got canceled this year, and Hulu picked it up like the next day. They were like, cool. You done with that, NBC? We'll just take that. Or Fox or whoever they were.
And like Community back in the day went through that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a fail because it was like Yahoo something that picked them up. But like we're in that realm now where if NBC, ABC, Fox, whatever decide to cancel something, that's okay, because these streaming services, they have money to burn, honey.
And honestly, it's easy money for them because it's an established fan base. If those fans are not already on that platform, they'll probably subscribe.
100%.
It's easy.
Oh God. Actually, Community is another show in this vein, actually, isn't it? And actually, Community might be that might be a better comparison, because Community, very diverse, covered a lot of very iffy subjects, right? And it was the whole idea is similar, right? It's like fancy pants person comes down into what we might consider to be a lower class position. And then has to deal with the crazy people who inhabit that world. And sooner or later figures out that, oh my God, I'm just like these people. And I am here. And I do kind of belong here. And I can make a life here. Right? So very similar in that way, actually.
That's really interesting. I actually don't think about Community that much anymore because
it's been gone a long time.
It was great, and I really liked it when it was good, and then it got, like, not good.
I don't think it got that not good. I just recently... I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Where did you watch it at?
I think it's... I'm not certain.
Maybe
Hulu?
I should revisit it.
Maybe on Hulu
I'd be
watched
willing
it?
to revisit it, because I really enjoyed it back, like, the first time around.
I had never seen it. Not even one episode. And I don't know why that is. I wasn't trying to avoid it. It just didn't come to me in time. And so recently I saw that it was all, I think, on Hulu. I'm checking right now. And I watched it and I kept thinking, like, because everyone told me it got bad at a certain point. And I was like, oh no. And I kept being like, when's it going to get bad? Oh, I can't.
And then you just finished it.
And I finished it. And I was like, so, I mean, now look, maybe I just am not as critical of certain things as other people.
Well, maybe I just let the public seep into my perception.
Maybe so. Well, I will say it did Community lost something when it started losing cast members. You know, first Chevy Chase, then Yvette Nicole Smith, and then our boy, our sexy Donald Glover. Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Okay.
It didn't lose things, but I thought it was still good. I still enjoyed it personally. I do love What's His Ass though. That blonde, the main guy,
Joel McHale. I love Joel McHale.
He's so fuckable. He is funny. Well, potato.
And he's hot.
Yeah. I loved how often they made him take off his shirt. I was like, yes, give me more.
Yeah.
Anyway, this episode isn't even about Community, but there are a lot of parallels. If you like one, I think you would like the other. I don't think that's a stretch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, we should write those articles. If you like this, you might like this.
Yes.
But only just stop with this comparison.
Well, and we might end with, if you like a pinky, you might like a dick.
What?
I'm just saying.
Try it out.
Hey, straight boys.
Find it out.
My number is 512-688. Where's my number? I'm allowed to tell my number.
I got your back, though.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
I'm so drunk. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't like you a lot, though.
But he's pretty? I don't know.
Not when I'm drunk.
No.
Not when I got vomit in my mustache.
Girl, who is, honestly?
Right? I think you're pretty with vomit in your mustache. Shade.
Thank you. I guess.
I mean, fuck you, but thanks. And moving on. Anything else about this beautiful show and these beautiful people?
Honestly, it's like so hard because it's like I love it so much, and like all I can say about it is that if you haven't seen it, it's like maybe your next unicorn show.
Yeah.
Because I find myself like so frequently in like a TV slump. Like I don't know what to do next. And like there's so much to see that it's hard to even like pick. So sometimes you just choose nothing or you just rewatch old stuff. But if you have not seen Superstore, this is absolutely something you should be watching. Especially if you're really into that 30-minute comedy, Community, Parks and Rec, 30 Rock type of like deal. This is for you. 100%.
I agree with you. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, at least give it a shot. You're really doing yourself a disservice if you don't. It's good.
It's real good.
Yeah.
It's real good.
Well, Morgie, do you have a plug for this week?
Let me think of one. We recorded a double episode and I already
did.
blew my wad.
Wad blown. Well, I'll tell you what. I've already talked about my plug, but just to bring it back up. So Go-Go Boy Interrupted came out in October of 2014. It is still on YouTube. Just search Go-Go Boy Interrupted. It is a really smart slice of life as far as being a 20s and 30s LGBTQ person, especially one who works and lives in the club community in their town. If that's a world that you don't know, it'll introduce you to some of the real life of that world. I mean, it really struck me as it rang true, a lot of that show. It's quite funny, but also quite real. And if you're completely unfamiliar with that world and you don't want to just go to a gay club all the time, and that's fine, I understand. I don't want to go to straight clubs either. You can watch that show and really kind of understand what that world is like, even though it's an absurd comedy. And Nico Santos is hilarious in it.
Awesome. I just did a quick look through of the IMDb, and Colton Dunn, who plays Garrett, our
so
boy, who's the announcer in Superstore, was in a movie I saw recently called, it's called Cock Blockers, but it's just a picture of a rooster because I guess you can't say cock, so it's just called Blockers. And it's got like John Cena and Leslie Mann and like some other people, but Colton Dunn is in it, and he was funny in it, and that movie was really funny, and I think I just rented it on Amazon, watched it at home, and it was like pretty funny. So if you're looking for like a silly comedy, that's a great one to rent.
This is kind of forgive me for what may be a gross question. Is Colton Dunn really in a wheelchair?
No, not in real life.
Okay.
No,
Well, I don't know why that's a gross question. I mean, really, come on now. That's not even offensive at all. Well, he wasn't in Cock Blockers. You'd know.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
Okay.
No, yeah. He should, yeah.
Cool.
He's fully mobile.
Okay, well, fully abled. And
he's an
and
able-bodied man. Good for him. We're proud of you, Colton.
For walking.
For walking. Good. 2 for you, Glen Coco. My friend at work the other day told me that he had a friend who named their dog Glen Coco, and I was like,
so cute.
But you would have to give him 2 treats every time. Every fucking time. That's not cost effective.
No, but that's when it really hurts, though, because if your dog's been bad, you say 1 for you, Glen Coco.
And none for Gretchen Wieners, who is your actual wiener dog that you have. He's a bad boy.
Or maybe it's your child who you keep in a cage.
Who you also named Gretchen Wieners.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I love it.
That's
okay,
disturbing.
Well, be sure to check out Go-Go Boy Interrupted. What's it called?
Go-Go Boy Interrupted.
And Blockers and...
Jimmy Fowley, by the way, is the creator and star of Go-Go Boy Interrupted. I didn't say his name.
Fowley?
It's
like Fallon, but not quite?
It's Fowlie. So not really
okay. That's one name.
Yeah, he's hot. Very cute.
I'm into it. So check out that shit, and while you're on the internet, you might as well check out Beauty and the Bitch, because you're already there.
I mean, you're practically at our doorstep.
Right? So find us on all the social media. We're at Beauty and the Bitch, or at B&Bcast, Facebook, Instagrams, whatever's.
Plenty of fish.
For sure, definitely. Christian Mingle.
Yes.
And
Farmers.com. Farmers only. Farmersonly.com. Oh
we should make a profile.
Yeah.
And then of course we're on YouTube. If you don't love podcasts on regular podcast apps, no problem, but you can find us on all the podcast apps. Check us out on YouTube. Listen to our shit there. We got everything, right, Mickey?
Except that one episode.
Oh, well, that's right, just that one.
So, but to make up for missing that one episode, which is just lost in the ether, you can watch hour-long episodes of Let's Queer Witcher 3, which is very queer and very witchy. You'll be into it, I promise.
Our 2 favorite things, to be honest.
Hexes. Yeah. Hexes and no, that doesn't work. Hexes and dicks. Hexes and dicks and... Well, I'll work on the tagline for our whole channel. But it's going to be something magical and something about dicks.
Totally. I think we nailed it, honestly.
I mean, something magical and something about dicks. That's it. Type it up right now.
And send. Yep. So check out all of that, and we will catch you next time, babies.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Are we Cloud 1?
No!
Are we Cloud 2?
You're going to lose your voice.
Are we Cloud... Why you can't support me?
Wait, what's our Muppet thing? Don't
call me a Muppet.
Don't call me a puppet.
Don't come for me. Girl, that's wisdom.
Out.
Solid. Beauty and the Bitch. Beauty and the Bitch. Do you have a home? Beauty and the Bitch. You look. Bitch. Beauty and the Bitch. Beauty and the Bitch. Bitch.